Yeah, my name's Laksh. I'm a 4A going into 4B student at the University of Waterloo, studying the Accounting and Financial Management program.
So you did actually leave out one important thing that I do want to touch on. You're also choosing to serve in the military. Can you tell us a little bit about that and your position there?
Yeah, sure. So, about a year ago, I had the idea to join the reserves, but I was kind of denied the opportunity because I had to get eye surgery. So, after a year worth of co-op, I kind of came to my own conclusion that I really didn't want to pursue that kind of lifestyle, and I wanted to go into something more adventurous and more demanding. So, I kind of landed on the military, and within the military, I want to go into the infantry regiments or the engineer regiments, and as an officer. Um, so, yeah, that's a little bit about that.
So what actually interested you in the military? And could you tell us a little bit about what that means to you?
Yeah, sure. So, um, from a young age, I think I kind of gravitated towards military a little bit more than some of my other friends. For example, I'd always be outside playing war in the woods with my friends. Always playing with Nerf guns outside. And I remember from a young age, I'd always watch documentaries and really have a fond kind of appreciation for Remembrance Day because of the heart in it. Um, and I think that being able to appreciate the men and women that served for us um, goes a long way. And I think that the heart and the kind of like the joy that it's almost like you get a joy in knowing that people are willing to take the ultimate sacrifice for you to be able to kind of live every day the way that you live it. So it's just a little bit interesting in that aspect, and it's something that's always like spoken to me, and I've wanted a demanding um, career for a long time, and I think the military will offer that to me.
So why are you choosing to serve right after graduation? Why not stick to a safe career path first?
Um, yeah, I think it comes down to figuring it out already from the co-op experiences that I've had. So I've worked in internships across the big five banks, the big four accounting firms. Worked on pretty large transactions and got kind of like my foot my feet wet within the corporate world. But I came to the conclusion that I value the people that I work with a lot more than the job that I necessarily do, and it's also paired with the interest of you know, the training that I'll receive from being able to do parachute jumps, from being able to do interrogation training, from to being able to do surveillance. So I think there's a lot of capacity to learn and a lot of new things that I wouldn't touch on otherwise. So I think that's a massive kind of reason as to why I want to do it and what sparks it.
So is there any specific moment in your life that made you realize this is something you really wanted to pursue?
Yeah, I would say it came across from the Sean Ryan show. So what it is basically a it's a podcast developed by a Navy SEAL who gets ex-veterans on and active members on to basically showcase their stories and their careers. Um, and through that, I ended up watching a lot of people from, the Green Berets. I watched a few of our own Canadian veterans speak on his podcast, and I also, um, you know, kind of just became a sponge for the knowledge that those men and women were putting out onto his platform. So I ended up really having like an appreciation for all of that, and I thought, you know what, like, what is stopping me from doing the same thing, and like, what's stopping me from like wanting that life experience, right? So it kind of boils down to that.
Did you ever have any doubts?
Yeah, like I think the doubts still occur daily. So um, the way that I would kind of put it is that it's a massive shift in my lifestyle, which is kind of the thing that's like, I wouldn't say freaking me out, but the one thing that like I keep wanting to reconsider, right? So being in an infantry unit, I would be out in the field for, you know, weeks on end with some very minimal hygiene and probably not the cleanest outfits all the time. So that's a massive change from me kind of doing whatever I want, post clock out of work compared to, being on base all the time and, always being downrange and shooting and always being doing land navigation out in the woods and things like that. So I'd say the doubts are definitely there, but I would say that the hardest path is probably the right one. So it's a good way to put it, I think.
That's all we have for you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.